Now, the first two pieces are in German.
We'll talk about that.
It's dark down here. It's quite poor. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Ian Cole and this is Jane.
Hi.
We have just returned from the first day of the Electric Spring Festival in Huddersfield, and there's two other videos which are linked down below if you want to see those first. So this is video number 3 and this was the first concert of the festival. This first performance was by a lady called Pam Hulme, who performed the organ and electronics in the Phipps Recycle Hall at the University of Huddersfield. Now, Pam played 3 pieces, 2 which were written by her and one by another composer. Now, the first 2 pieces are in German and I cannot pronounce them. I will put them down below, but Jane's going to have an attempt.
Neither of us speak German, but I'm going to have a go.
No.
So the first one was Die schweren Sorgen.
Sounds pretty good to me.
And the second one, because I'm on a roll here, she says, Niederscheinen number 2.
Yeah.
Zwei.
Now the third one is easier, but not, because it's letters and spaces. So it's capital S das A dash slash dash Y slash dash dash brackets part 2 close brackets. So anyway, those are the 3 pieces. Now Pam came out and she spoke to us. She told us a little bit about each piece in advance of her performance, and I have to say I quite liked that she came out and she explained a little bit about what we were going to hear. If we'll go through them individually. There isn't any recording of the actual performance, but actually I found a clip of her performing the third piece on her Facebook page, and also I do have another piece of video of her performing a completely different improvisational piece, which I'm going to put right at the end, so you can get a feel for how Pam performs with a large-scale organ and electronics, because that's exactly what she was doing on the night. So the first piece, Jane, my first thoughts were I wasn't hugely fond of it because it was quite a discordant piece.
Because all 3 pieces were played back to back, as it were, when we had the break between Pam and then the next performances, I made notes because I thought I am not going to remember, and they're very brief, but I found the first piece I've written very fiddly. Now that was because when you're actually, it's fantastic when you're actually up close to somebody playing an organ, because you do see what they have to do with all the stops, the feet, they're constantly having to check. Now obviously Pam also had some electronic equipment in front of her as well, and I found it quite distracting.
What, her pressing buttons
initially,
and creating
because she
loops.
was dealing with the electronic equipment and that, and I found that I was being distracted, and obviously I was conscious that she was making the loops. I was listening to the music, so yeah, I quite liked it. I wasn't aware so much of discordant sounds personally.
It's a first. I'm just going to read you what Pam's short piece about this first piece is. She said it's the first movement of a choral suite for organ and live looping, and it's based on a well-known Lutheran hymn.
Yeah, Lutheran
Lutheran hymn. Sorry, by Georges Newmack from 1641. So that hopefully will give some sort of context to the actual piece, or it'd be nice if we could actually hear it, but we haven't got a recording of it. Moving on to the second piece.
Yeah.
So this one wasn't written by Pam. It was by Lawrence van der Wee, and I really liked this piece because it was an unusual sort of use of the organ, in the sense that certain stops would be pulled out, and then, because obviously the air is generated by a pump, it would be then she'd be play something and then it would be switched off, and it would be the dying of the actual sounds, which was quite an unusual thing, and the whole piece was like that. And I just thought it was fascinating, and listening to there wasn't any electronics, was there? It was just all of it was based around the sounds of pulling out certain stops, her playing a piece for a very short space of time, and then the dying of those notes as the air is expelled from the pipes. So I did really like that. It
was a very, I suppose, technical piece.
It was.
In that it used the actual, how an organ functions, like Ian's just explained. I mean, I'm just reading. It's based on The Dancer by Martinus Niehoff, and it, quote, "Its dark blood throbs and muscles highly tensed tremble in such confined extremity." I mean, I'm
not sure I would go with that if
okay,
that wouldn't be my interpretation of it,
but that's I mean, my notes that I'd referred to earlier, I've got noises on and off because that it was a lot of pushing, pulling, but it did, it reflected. I mean, it was really unusual the way that some of the sounds were created by, just the organ responding to being switched on and off, and, whatever the stops were being asked to do. And some of it, that, as opposed to actually using the keyboard necessarily.
Yeah, exactly.
So interesting.
Yeah. Okay, on to the third piece.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this one, I out of the three, I think I liked this one the best. So the second and third piece I liked best. I liked the first one less, if I'm honest. This piece used sampled loops of violin, although you thought it was a cello.
I thought I was being really clever because I thought, that's the fantastic, synthesis of a cello. But I was wrong.
So
sample, I should do the word I was.
There were samples of violin phrases, which worked really well, I thought, with the organ, and the way that Pam played it and the loops was, I thought, was fantastic, and I want to hear that again. Really, I thought it was brilliant.
And also, it was a very personal piece for Pam because it was memories of her mother during her final week of life. So it was a very and I mean, Pam, I'm just reading this here, her notes. Her mother had a neurological degeneration. So, and it was about communication.
And that's sorry to interrupt you, Jane. And that's clearly why the title is as it is. Because obviously it's about that. Things not always been.
That's right, and she refers to the fact that when word fragments have gone, and so there was a lot going on, and some some melodic sort of phrases, but I liked the way that the samples matched the actual organ playing. In very short phrases, but I really liked it.
and overall we really enjoyed Pam's performance. It was good. In fact, I'm going to put in the actual piece of footage. It's about 4 minutes of her improvising some Bach with Ed Sheeran, if you believe that. So enjoy. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're taller than me.
Yeah, and you're in front of me.
That's right. That's right.
You need to sit up.
I'm just sit up. I'm sitting up. That'll hurt me back. Hello. Let's start again, shall I? Okay. And we have just returned from the first day of the electronic. We have just returned from the first. Stop it. The organ in the Phipps Recycle Hall at Edinburgh University. I don't know where. Right. How do I do? I can't remember the whole. I was halfway through my flow there. So the Phipps. So